Alright fellas, here we're back in a Pokemon TCG video, where we got ourselves, I'm gonna make this a short video by the way, I just want to make that clear. Tariffs! I know people probably don't care about the political aspect of it, you know, whatever, I'm just gonna mention the Pokemon cards, alright? Not gonna make it political. 90-day pause on tariffs. Except for China. So, if you want Chinese Pokemon, better be getting it quick. Or from the US, whatever. But, well, in terms of others like Korean, Indonesian, Japanese Pokemon, we've got at least a 90-day delay on the massive annoyance that these tariffs could cause. Because like these other countries said it was like, a minimum 10% tariffs and then up to like 34%, which basically directly increases to pretty much any product out of that country that is distributed in that country going up by about 34% because they're not gonna bite that bullet and take that loss for a consumer. It's just gonna make the price go up for the consumer. In terms of Japanese, in terms of a lot of this stuff, that could also end up equating to like a little bit of a selling price going down because like if you don't know how it works, a lot of times distributors in the United States getting like foreign product, especially like in the main case being Japanese, they get it for like a little bit below market. I don't know percentages. I'm not going to speak like I know, but for example, let's say that a big United States seller store, whatever that sells Japanese, they buy from a distributor, not a distributor in Japan, but like someone who's got massive bulk amount of the product. They would probably give them for example, just a 10-15% discount, something like that. Again, just example numbers, 10-15%, whatever, they would be sold at that price, and then of course your seller would make that 10-15% profit after shipping, whatever. Well, there is ways for those sets to go down in sales because it's not as if the distributors in Japan are selling sets like Destined Rivals or, well, Glory of Team Rocket, the Japanese version of the set. Those are not being sold for $200, which is what it's currently going for at the English market. That is what these sellers are doing. They're selling at market, a little bit below market, so that these US stores can get at least a little bit of a profit out of it, which is fair. And well, basically what people are hoping in terms of this stuff is that, well, that's going to go down, make the difference with the tariffs because, well, no one can afford a $200 set already, and no one can definitely afford a $270 set, right? That's just absolutely absurd, literally absurd, given the economy of freaking everything, right? So that's what people were kind of hoping, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. But big point, tariffs are on a 90-day pause in all countries but China, meaning that you do not have to worry about your Sylveon, EX, alternate art, whatever, special illustration rare going up, a ton. If anything, it's actually going down, 154 down to 128, and actually doing pretty good. just something cool to note. I do not expect it to stay down for long, frankly. I don't expect Harassed Festival to get like massive reprints. So honestly, if you're gonna, I'm gonna say this. 90-day pause, a lot of people are going to be taking advantage of that. I would expect another big hike up in a lot of the big cards and big sets people are wanting. I'm just expecting. I'm not going to say, FOMO buy or whatever. I'm not going to encourage that. But if you have the funds and you want these cards and you've been sitting on it for a while, get them. Whether it be, singles, booster boxes, any type of product, whatever you can get, before these tariffs kick in, get those, right? I would recommend it. I'm not going to say go ahead and, again, I'm not going to recommend FOMO buying, but get them. I personally have bought the 3 cards that I'm wanting. I bought this card and apparently it said it came in, but it has not come in and now I'm scared. So please don't have post office. Please don't have screwed me. God, if this thing got lost, I would actually cry. But whatever, it's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. But yeah, so none of the cards have been affected so far by tariffs. Again, at least not, I wouldn't say so. Most of these cards should go up, but it seems like, this Glaceon is still staying around that $52-$55 range. The Sylveon's been going down. I obviously don't expect any of these to go insane in price, right? They're double rares, even given a tariff. Umbreon still seems, it's elevating, or not elevating, it's leveling out. If anything, it's kind of going down a little bit. Would I buy it? Probably not. Don't have that much money, but it's a card of all time. But yeah, so Japanese cards, they're doing fine. So far for now, Chinese cards are not doing terrible either. This is the Chinese gem pack here from China, still $25. Like, you can still find this for pretty cheap. This is about market price and what we've been expecting for it. These singles have not gone up that much. Like, these singles here, they're still like this single here. I remember looking at it. It's about this much, right? It's still staying around that, you know, $20 range, right? This Aerodactyl, $18. This Lugia has been about $100, $90 to $100. It's not gotten marked up too much, right? You know, again, China is the one that's that's being hit the hardest with tariffs right now, and because, you know, whatever political situation is going back and forth, I would expect a massive hike up in anything that says from China if it's being sold from China, right? That's the one of the biggest things about this. You know, Chinese products, if you really want them right now, I would recommend getting them, whether it be this Lugia or the Giratina V alternate art, or literally any Sun and Moon era cards from China, right? Like this Dawn and Piplup, there's probably pretty expensive in English. You know, given again any card really in Chinese, it's probably going to start going up, you know, relatively soon. At least newer, especially newer stuff. Maybe like this older stuff, you know, will stay at where it is. It'll gradually climb like old product out of print tends to do. But otherwise, like newer product, whether it be traditional or simplified Chinese, whatever, it's probably going to really start going up. Like whatever the newest set is with the Gardevoir, and I forget what the exact set's called. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, this set here, Miracle Journey. It released back in March, so about pretty much a little over 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, basically. It's got like the Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet. There's a lot of like Scarlet and Violet era stuff, mostly Scarlet, like Paldea evolved, I think, Scarlet Violet base, or like around that general area of what type of cards it has. Can I just look at the big illustrations? I don't want to scroll through the entire list. Okay, well, my click doesn't want to work. But yeah, you can see, you know, a lot of the big cards here. There's the Erica from 151, whatever it is, right? Cool. This set, I mean, this set's already pretty pricey because people are super interested in like getting it and whatnot for all the illustration rares and whatnot to be able to get them a little bit cheaper and stuff like that. This set's kind of already going up. Let's just look. Let's see. Pokemon Miracle Journey. Let's see. Pokemon Miracle Journey. Yeah, like $76. $100. It's a jumbo, but still, you know, like the Slim Booster box is still going for about 70 right now. Sets, either this set, like, you know, a little bit later on, probably gonna start going up, or sets after this are probably gonna start going up. Again, I'm not trying to FOMO anything. It's really not my intent with this, but gotta be very understanding that, well, what type of market are we dealing with, you know, given the current situation between the United States and China. That's just all there is to consider about it. That's not, I can't really say that any other way, right? We do have, you know, Heat Wave Arena here, Hot Wind Arena, whatever you want to call it, going back down to $100 a box. Still not worth buying, good lord, but hey, you know, whatever, there it is. Whatever. I just wanted to make the video, frankly. I don't really have much else to say, much else to add. If you want like these foreign products, Indonesian, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, whatever, I'd recommend buying some of that stuff sooner rather than later, at least getting some of the stuff you may want before those tariffs start to kick in. It will affect things sooner or later. It's going to happen unless things get rescinded in the United States, you know, whether these tariffs can like get knocked down a ton, whatever, you know, if something awesome happens, that's great, but, you know, just keep this stuff in mind when, you know, thinking about what to buy with Pokemon. If you really want something, I think this is a good time for people to really evaluate what their biggest need slash want, I guess, well, it's never a need, but what their biggest want is from the Pokemon TCG, especially foreign product, is like, do you really, really want this card enough to like buy it right now before it goes up in like price or whatever? Is like, is this something you really need? It might be a good way to save yourself some money, but whatever. I'll see you later. Hope y'all enjoyed. Sorry, it was a bit of a shorter video, a bit of a, I guess, lazier one, whatever, but I did want to cover it, and I'm like really busy right now. But anyway, I'll see you later. Hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.